Welcome. Today we want to talk about finding a mentor to help you on your return to work journey. And this is something that I think women struggle with because we're so used to helping everybody else. A, we're not good at asking for help. B, we're not good at accepting help. We like to think that we are islands that can just function on our own. But if you're looking at a career relaunch, we know that you need a mentor.
Yes. And I think another part to just add to what you're saying is that we feel like we're burdening someone.
Even though we're burdened by everybody.
Right. Exactly. And this, if you would just flip your mindset to think this is an opportunity for someone to repay me for all of the good that I put out into the world, that might be a little helpful for you. Yeah. So the first one is to connect with someone who has actually made a recent career return. Somebody who's walked these, these roads, right?
And you can find them. You can find them in your community.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is make sure that everyone in your most intimate community, your friends, your family, your neighbors, the people that you see on a regular basis, they know that you are pursuing a career relaunch. And instantly they'll say, oh, I know somebody who did that. Or ask them, do you know anybody?
You could go on any of the social media platforms.
Absolutely.
So when someone gets a job, they're announcing it.
Yes.
They're announcing.
And it's on LinkedIn too. If you happen to be using that platform already, you can definitely see those announcements. But talk to them because there's something unique about taking a career break and going back to work that is not replicated in any other job search.
Absolutely.
And if you can have that support of someone who really knows how you feel, you'll be so much better off for it.
Yeah. And they will have tips and tricks and just support that you might need to hear so you don't feel so.
Actually, I think even if they don't have any tips, if they don't even know how it happened, just seeing them and knowing, knowing that it worked for them gives you the hope that it can work for you too.
Right. And, this is more of a traditional way of looking for a mentor, but it's really somebody who is an expert or has experience in the career lane that you want to return to. And, when you were in your career before, you may have had a mentor that you worked with and wanted to aspire into a role similar to theirs. That's kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Right? And it could be role. I mean, it could be someone also who's in your industry. Or if you happen to live in an area where there's one major employer who's just like every year employer of the year and you want to work there, then the mentor could just be someone who works there. So it's really, it could be field, industry, or role, but someone who can give you that kind of inside scoop to help you understand what you need to do to provide the right or create the right brand or best present your brand so it's attractive to that audience.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about how you make the reach out to someone like that, because I really feel like you can get tripped up here in the reach out because you feel like I've been out of the game for an extended period of time. And how do I reach out to this person? How do I not sound needy? All of that stuff.
Well, if it's a career returner, I would hope that they would just be open arms. There's probably a special place in hell for someone who returned to a job 3 months ago and isn't going to help you. But I think it's just a shared conversation. Kelley, I've been following you on social media. I can see that you've taken this job and I know you're probably really busy. I'd love to get just 15 minutes with you because I'm looking to do the same thing myself. I can't imagine anybody would say no to that, as long as you give them enough of a window of time.
Right.
So usually,
so that's how you would reach out to somebody who's done a career return. But how would you reach out to somebody who's already working in your field or industry or career lane? Because I feel like that can be a little more intimidating.
I think they both can, but that, of course, that one's a little bit more because you don't have that common ground. So again, being very clear with your language on what you're looking for. So Kelley, I took a recent career break. You don't have to get into the details. I was home raising 4 kids. I was home for 14 years.
No,
I don't need to know that.
Actually, don't say
exactly.
That.
Keep it real simple. I'm looking to pivot or re-enter the workforce. And I noticed that you work at ABC company, and I've done a lot of research. I'm specifically interested in that company because of, make it specific. And I'm wondering if you would be able to give me 15 minutes on a Zoom call so I could learn more about you and your role and your organization.
Right.
50-50 shot.
Yeah.
So really, we've said before in other broadcasts of this YouTube series about having options.
Yeah.
It's the same here. Not everyone is going to be available. Not everyone's going to want to help you. So make sure that you're sending these requests out to multiple people because you only need if you get the right one, you only need one.
Right.
But you do need to have those options because you're not going to know which one's going to come through.
It's like knowing the language, the jargon. It's waking parts of you back up again that may have been asleep for a long time. It's just having that person that has that wisdom and experience is going to give you a bit of an education. Okay, the last one, just by the virtue of you showing up and watching this YouTube, really kind of speaks to this, and that's find an expert that has wisdom and experience in specifically in the return to work process. There is so much information out there, especially when it comes to there, potentially being a declining economy. That is on all of the different social medias, and there are very few people that know how to speak to the unique audience.
There are a lot of people who think they
returners.
do.
Yes.
I think what you want, ideally you want someone who, like us, who really knows it, who's lived it.
Yeah.
And really focuses in this population. My private practice is mostly non-returners. It's a lot of men. It's a lot of people who are just looking to improve their careers or pivot, or they've been laid off or they've quit and they're looking for something new. It's a very different conversation. Some of the tools are the same.
Right.
But the process is very different for someone who's got a career break.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer the break, the more challenging it is to overcome it. It's totally overcomable.
Right.
We have hundreds of students landing jobs all over the place,
right.
but it is a process. So there are career coaches out there that probably specialize in this. There are job boards that specialize in helping people who are returning to work
right.
find employers. And there are free podcasts, our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
We have a free webinar on our website.
Right.
Lots of free options. And then if you want to make a further investment, which can be even that much more helpful because you're getting much more intense care and much more personal care, then there are options there with us and with others as well.
Right. That Susan, you mentioned briefly our webinar, free webinar that we offer on our website. We will link that free webinar. It's the 3 steps
for a successful career relaunch.
Yeah. So we will link that in the comments below. If you liked what you heard today, make sure that you like this video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We actually put new content out each week. You can also find us at www.preparetolaunchu.com.